The function is given as y is equal to f of x equals x squared plus 4. Question number 1. What are x-intercepts, if any? Number 2, what is the y-intercept? Number 3, what is the vertex? Substitute x equals x1 equals negative 2, what is y1? Substitute x equals x2 equals negative 4, what is y2? Find the average rate of change of the function from x equals negative 2 to x equals negative 4. And finally, number 7, plot the graph. Rough sketch will do. So let's do x-intercepts. What is our function? F of x equals x squared plus 4. Immediately you see that the x term is missing. So what we can do is rewrite it as x squared plus 0x plus 4. Now you know that for x-intercepts you set y equal to 0. When you set y equal to 0, you get 0 is equal to f of x. And then you say 0 is equal to x squared plus 0x plus 4. So do not forget, when nothing is written next to x squared, it means 1. So 0 is equal to 1x squared plus 0x plus 4. Compare this with ax squared plus bx plus c. Immediately you see that a is equal to 1, b is equal to 0, and c is equal to 4. How do we compare? A is equal to 1, b is equal to 0, and c is equal to 4. Once you have that, the solutions for x are given by negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Substitute for a, b, and c. A cannot be equal to 0. For our problem, a is equal to 1, b is equal to 0, c is equal to 4. So let's substitute that. What is negative of b? Negative 0 plus or minus 0 squared minus 4. What is a? A is 1 and c is 4. The whole thing divided by 2 times 1. A is equal to 1. So immediately you get 0 plus or minus square root of 0 minus 16. 4 times 4 is 16 divided by 2, and that is 0 plus or minus square root of negative 16. Whole thing divided by 2. Square root of negative 16 does not exist. It is not a real solution. What does that mean to us? It means that the graph really does not touch the x-axis. X-intercepts are where the graph touches the x-axis. So no x-intercepts means what? The graph does not touch the x-axis. And we could have easily seen that. 0 is equal to x squared plus 4. Can you subtract 4 from both sides? And you see that x squared is equal to square of x equals a negative number. So there is no real solution. Let's review and do it. To find x-intercepts, set y equal to 0 and solve for x. Substitute a, b, and c. And when we do that, we get square root of negative 16. No real solutions. Graph does not touch the x-axis. The graph does not touch the x-axis. Number 2, what is the y-intercept? Again, f of x equals x squared plus 4. F of x is equal to x squared plus 4. Y-intercept, what does that mean? Set x equals 0 on the y-axis. X is equal to 0. And then solve for y. So f of, wherever we have x, we substitute 0. So what is 0 squared? 0 plus 4, and that is 4. So when x equals 0, y is equal to 4. When x equals 0, y is equal to 4. So that's what we did here. Set x equal to 0 and find y, and we get 4. So we get the point 0, 4. This is the point where the graph of the curve touched the y-axis. So 1, 2, 3, 4. What is the vertex? What is the vertex? So f of x, you know, is 1x squared plus 0x plus 4. So compare that with f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Immediately you see that a is equal to 1, b is equal to 0, and c is equal to 4. What is h? Negative b over 2a. Negative 0 divided by 2 times 1, and that is 0, because 0 divided by anything is 0. So now we substitute x equals 0, and what do we get? So f of x equals x squared plus 4. To get k, you substitute x equals h. So f of h, and what is h? H is 0. So what do we get? 4. So what is our vertex? 0, 4. And that's what I did here. So I get h equals 0, and then substitute h equals 0 and get k, and I get 0, 4. 0, 4 is right here. Now substitute x equals negative 2. So what is our function? Simple, x squared plus 4. So what is f of negative 2? Please don't get scared when you look at f of negative 2. Just y. So what is y when x equals negative 2? So in the space occupied by x, we substitute negative 2. So what is that? 4 plus 4, and that is 8. So when x equals negative 2, y equals 8. And that is your x1, y1. That's what I did here. I get negative 2, positive 8. What happens when x equals negative 4? Again, our function is x squared plus 4. In the space occupied by x, we substitute negative 4. So what is the value of the function when x equals negative 4? And we get 16 plus 4, and that is 20. So when x equals negative 4, y equals 20. And that is x2, y2. So we have x2, y2, negative 4, positive 20. So again, that's what I did here. When you substitute x equals negative 4, you get 20. Find the average rate of change of the function from x equals negative 2 to x equals negative 4. So what are our points? Our points are negative 2, positive 8, and negative 4, positive 20. So your m, average rate of change of the function from x equals negative 2 to x equals negative 4, is given by y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. What is y2? y2 is 20. What is y1? y1 is 8. x2 is negative 4. And what is x1? x1 is negative 2. So this is 12 divided by negative 4 plus 2, which is negative 2, and that is negative 6. Negative 6. So you're losing money, one way of putting it. So it is -6. So that's what I did here. Now what is left? Number 7. Plot the graph. Don't forget, our function is x squared plus 4. When you put x equals 0, y is equal to 4. H is equal to 0, k is equal to 4. And that was our vertex. And when you substitute x equals 1, what do we get? 1 squared plus 4, and that is 5. Y is equal to 5. When you put x equals -1, y is equal to 5 again, because square root of -1 is also +1, and +1 plus 4 is +5. So if you plot those three, we have the graph. We knew the vertex, and we generated those two. So x equals 0, y is equal to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is our vertex. When you put x equals 1, y is equal to 5. So when you put x equals 1, y is equal to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when you put x equals -1, that's also 5. So you get something like that. That is a rough sketch. And this is George Mathew signing off. Good luck.